So in the previous video, we have learned how we can do the port mapping in the Docker. So right now in this video, what we are going to do, so I have a static site, okay, into my GitHub account. So you can just go ahead to my GitHub account. It's github.com/Rohit Marathe, and you can just go ahead in the repository. So I have this website, NFT website. So this is a static website, and what I'm going to do, so we are containerizing this static site into a Docker image, and we are using the Nginx base image. So using the Nginx, so as I mentioned earlier, so Nginx is a web server, so from which you can able to serve your static site. So I am just serving all the static site using the Nginx. Okay, first thing first, you have to go on to my repository. So this is my repository, or either you can use other static site as well, is doesn't matter. So you can just simply go to my repository and you can just clone this repo, or you can just download the zip. So I am just cloning, so I just copy this command and open my terminal, and here in my working directory, so one step back, so there is a folder that I've created, the Docker, and it's have all the project files here. So I'm just cloning this repo in this directory. So I'm just copy this link. So I have already copied this link and just use the git clone command and paste it. So if you don't have git, so you have to install the git first, then you can able to use this command. Okay, so we have successfully cloned this repo. So just ls, and as you can see that we have this directory here, the nft-website. So what I'm going to do right now, so I have this directory. So if I open this, I have all the files, and now I'm going to drag this folder to my VS Code. Okay, so it will be available inside my VS Code. And for running these files, I have an extension installed into my system. It's known as a live server. So you can just use the live server extension here. Okay, so you can just go ahead and install this extension, and using that extension you can able to run your HTML files. So let's suppose if you want to run this index.html file, so I just simply open this file and just right click one and open with the live server. So if you click this one, so it's automatically open the file into your browser. So as you can see that the index file is successfully open. Also you can check our other pages as well, like the explore, the item details, the author, all the pages is working fine. Okay, which means our website is absolutely working fine. And one thing I have to be sure here, so one thing you have to be remember, it's running on 127.0.0.1. okay, so this is the address here, and it's running on the port 5500. okay, the port is also mentioned here. That's cool. So right now we have all the files, and now we are going to write a Docker file, and using that Docker file we can able to create a Docker image and serve our website with the Nginx. Okay, for creating Docker file, you have to just click on this icon, create file. So, and the first thing you have to be remember, the first letter should be capital, like the D should be capital, and then entire file should be in the small letter, like the Docker file. Okay, for our case we are need a Nginx image, and we are using the Nginx image. So right now you are just go ahead on the Docker file, and here you have to type from, and you have to give the space and mention the image name here, the Nginx. Later on you have to just enter it, and again the second thing you have to mention, you have to set the working directory. Okay, so work dir. So here you have to mention the working directory. So in my case I am using the my app. So there is one thing is missing here, and I will tell you once we done all the things. So once the building the image, and later on I will tell you the which one thing we are missing up. Okay, so in the first stage we have mentioned the base image, like using the from command, the Nginx. In the second stage we have mentioned the working directory, and in the third stage, the most important, we are copying all the things. Okay, so we are copying dot and the second dot. So if you are thinking is what is the use of the dot here, so the first dot is indicates that it's going to copy all the files, which means we have the so many files here, like the asset folder, then we have the vendor folder, then we have the bunch of files. So we need to copy all the files and should be pasted in our working directory, and for that reason I am using the second dot here. The first dot is the first dot is considered as a copying all the files from the current directory and paste to the working directory for the second dot. So here there is a space, so note that there is a space here. So once you're done with that, you have to just simply save this file, and that's pretty much you have to be need for just serving the site using the Nginx. So I just going to save this one and open the terminal. I'm just go ahead and cd to my working directory like the NFT website, and here as you can see that I just ls here and I have this file, docker file, and now right now I'm going to build this image. So let's check it out the which images that we have. So we have the most of the images, like the 4 images that we have into a system, but right now we are going to build another one for this application. So let's build the docker image. So again we are using the same command like the docker build, and here you have to merge the tag the image using the -t tag. So after building the image, so we can able to run the image using the name. Okay, so for that reason I'm using the docker build -t for tagging, and the first thing I'm going to use my username. So this is the username here, and /, and then I mention the name of this image. So I will be say NFT website. Okay, and later on I'm just using the dot. So let me show you the command again here. So the first thing we are using the docker build and -t for tagging the image. The first thing I use my username, then /, the name for this image like the NFT website, and dot for current directory. Okay, so docker file is available in the current directory, so hence I'm using the dot here, and then you have to just click on the enter and start the building the image. So as you can see that we have successfully built the docker image. So let's check it out like using the docker images command. Okay, so we can see that we have this image here, okay, that successfully built. So let's try to run this image. For that we are using the docker run command, like the docker run. So as I mentioned in the earlier videos, so Nginx is run on the port 80, so we have to use the port mapping method to map the port from my machine to the docker container. For that reason we are using the -p here. We are using the port mapping method. So I want to access the application from 85 from my computer, and colon and the container port is 80, and then the name of the image. So I'm just copy here and paste it. Okay, so again docker run -p for port mapping, 85 for my machine, and colon for the 80 of the docker container, that is using the Nginx image, and Nginx is run on the port 80, and then the image name. Okay, so once you enter it, so as you can see that our image is running. So let's check it out. Okay, so I'm just going to open a new tab here and type the localhost and colon, and I'm just type 85. Okay, but you're worried, so why is showing the Nginx page here, and why our website is not served it here? Okay, so if I close this one, so our application is down here. You can see that it's running on the port 85, but we are not able to access it. So you might be thinking we have set up all the things correctly, like the like the working directory, then the copy command, all the things is working fine, then why I'm not able to see our website? Because so as I mentioned in the earlier videos, so some of the images is need to be work in the specific directory or the specific path. Most of the images is not to be need to be run in the specific path or the directory. But in the case of Nginx, so Nginx is run in the specific path. So which path should be add here to access our website? So let's find out what is the by default working directory of Nginx image. So for that you have to just go on the Google and open this page of Docker Hub of Nginx. So I have opened this page of Nginx, and if you scroll down a little bit, and if you scroll down, then so as you can see that here we have the from and Nginx, then we have the copy command, and we have this static HTML directory, which means the files that you want to copy, like the static HTML files, and the path. So this is the exactly path you have to just copy, and here all your HTML files should be copy and paste in this directory, and it will be able to serve the website using the Nginx. So I'm just going to copy this one again, And what I'm going to do right now, I'm just opening the VS Code, and in the working directory, so you have to just replace this path or this working directory to this. Okay, so this is the path here, the USR, the share, the Nginx, and the HTML. So once you're done with that, just simply save this file. And what we're going to do, we are going to build the image again and run this image. So we are using the same command like the docker build -t and the here the username and the name of image like the Nginx NFT website and dot for current directory, and within a second it will be going to build the docker image for us. Okay, so it's built. So let's run the docker image. So using the docker run command and -p for I want to access from the 85 from my computer, and the port of the docker image is port 80, and Rohit Marathe and NFT website. If you press enter, and let's open the browser here, and if I refresh this one, so as you can see that we have successfully able to serve our website using the Nginx. So if I press Ctrl+C, and as you can see that our website is again vanish. Okay, and again if I run this command, and if I again run this one, so I can able to again visit this one. So also one thing I had to do, so let's change the port here from the 85 to 88, and if I refresh this one, so it's going to vanish here, and let's type the port 88 again. So as you can see that we are able to access our website using only the 3 commands like the Nginx, like the working directory, and the copy. Using the only 3 commands, we are able to containerize this website into a Docker container and able to access our website using the Nginx. So in the next lecture, we are going to learn more about the Docker container.